Good evening, one. Good evening, all, and welcome to the Fan Forum. The show is back on the Toon Review. It was very popular when we used to do it as a full show, so we decided to do it again. And it is your chance to come and join us and have your say. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of different opinions going on amongst the fan base at the minute with what's going on at Newcastle United. There is certainly across social media, there's different opinions. So get yourself on tonight. Remember, you don't need a camera. You can just use your microphone. Don't be frightened. We don't bite. Well, Sam does sometimes, but normally not. But it is, of course, Lady Sam and myself, Paul, taking you through the Fan Forum tonight. We will put the link up in just a second. Get on, join us, and have a great time. And get everything off your chest with regards to Newcastle United, because I think we need that session, Sam. Just everybody needs to just have a kind of, I don't know, counseling session, a group session.
Group therapy, cathartic. Yes. Right. I see the angle with this. I'm excited. I haven't been in a midweek fan
it's
forum.
It's your first fan forum, yeah? You weren't. Last time we did a show on the fan forum, you definitely weren't with us. Stoic Protector, who's been a member for a month now. Thanks for the show tonight, both. Much appreciate your work. We much appreciate you, Stoic Protector, for your incredible gestures since you've been part of the channel. So thank you very, very much.
I'm a stoic myself, so yeah. See you, man.
Okay. Paul World's asking how much the counselling session is, because therapy costs a lot. It's free on the Toon Review.
Look at you.
What we would
just like and subscribe, though. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, since I released that video today, we've lost 4. Can you believe that? 4 people have unsubscribed, Sam.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Shocking. Mark says, Sam, how would you like the win for the lasses on Sunday? Well, Sam will tell you that in an hour's time, because she's back with the War Lasses show with Aaron. So Sam will be jumping. She is. She'll be jumping off here about 1:45. And I'll take you through the rest of the show, and Sam and Aaron will take you through the War Lasses at 8 o'clock. So please give them a watch, support them, and well, they'll be celebrating the win. That's for certain. Martin says, why is your shirt lighter than Sam's shirt? Have you been using the washing machine on too hot?
I think it's a lighting thing rather than a...
Yeah, it's called lighting, Martin. I've got big studio lights. Sam has got probably one of those little round lights. Do you, Sam? The old selfie lights?
I've got the, like... So I've got a doubler coming out of here, but I have 2 lights either side of this.
All right, it's too early for that kind of stuff.
I haven't done my hello to the magpie massive in here.
You haven't.
Oh God, was it a good idea to invite me onto this? I've started it already.
I'm not too sure, to be honest, Sam. I'm not too sure. We'll see how we get on. Anyway, the link to join us is now pinned. Get yourself into the green room. Get yourself on. Let us know how you're feeling ahead of the next couple of weeks, of course. West Ham away on Monday, for me, is still a very, very big game. And then, of course, the build-up to the Coca-Cola. Well, it's not the Coca-Cola Cup final anymore, is it? It's the Caribou Cup final against Liverpool. Indeed. Clive says, Paul and Lady Sam, hello. Paul, did you see the video Adam Pearson put out earlier? PSG are offering our club 3 very good players. Yeah, I've seen that, but I didn't want to report it. You know what? I'm sick of it. Okay, I am sick of the whole Isak situation. It's a load of bollocks, right? You know, as if we're going to just do a straight swap with 3 Paris Saint-Germain players. No, and I'm sick of talking about it, man. I honestly am. That's why I didn't say anything on my video, because I didn't see the point. There was more important things to talk about. Keegan's comments, of course, about the new stadium, about Eddie Howe, that kind of thing, and this interesting Turkish player that we're interested in, Komologlu or whatever his name is, 31 years old, Sam. It's
sorry, Komologlu what?
Whatever. Anyway, we've got 2 in the waiting room. Come on, guys, get yourself on. You wanted this show back. 83% voted for it. Let's get yourselves on. We've got Chippers and we've got Tony. Good evening, chaps.
Hello.
Good evening, Sam and Lady Sam and Paul, and good to see you up and about. And I hope you're feeling well, my friend.
I'm getting there. I've had a bit of an angry session this afternoon because one of my fish tank filters is playing up, and I've been on it for 3 hours, and I've left the kitchen and the living room in a state. So poor Susan's just sort of. So I've got work to do when I finish this. So I'll have the wall lashes going in the background, and I'll be swearing at my filter. But never mind.
I broke a fish tank once. I used to walk with elbow crutches, and they fell over, and one of them hit the tank, and it just exploded. Water went everywhere, but never mind. That was a long time ago. But we're not here to talk about
that.
Chippers, what's going on, matey? I'm at a loss really as to what's going on with our form at the minute.
Well, I'm fucked off, to be honest with you. I think that they've down tools, but that's what I think they've done, and I think the performances have shown that. For me, I think they've lost the bottle in some games, and Sunday was no different. We 1-0 up, and I thought we looked pretty comfortable, although Brighton did all right with the ball. They didn't have their first shot at the goal, and that was the 45th minute. So I just think we looked headless chickens in the second half, and as soon as we drop with God and we'll go a bit panicky, we can't deal with it, and there's no leadership in that team. There's no leadership, and this is where I want to see Bruno stepping up and having the goal players, but he doesn't do it, and that's the captain I want, but I don't see him, and it's worrying because some of the goals are down to him, and he's supposed to be the captain, and it doesn't help when your two centre backs are running brown sauce every week, and Bruno's running in brown sauce, and they're just so slow and passive, and teams are just 2 passes in. They've gone from their box to ours, and it's so easy, and then it's embarrassing to watch. And Eddie Howe does nothing about it. And I mean, come on, it's like I feel why give Emil Kraft a new contract? You're not even going to play him. Give him a new contract.
Why sign it? Why sign a Sula? I don't understand.
And you've got Fabian Schär making mistakes week in, week out, defending shockingly. He can't pass win, never mind pass a football, and yet he's still getting picked. Tell me why. No offense to Dan Burn, he's making mistakes as well, but that's probably because he's doing a 2-man job at centre back rather than his own job. I mean, as much as I like to see Livermore, he did all right at left back on Sunday. I'd rather see a natural left back. I know Target's not good enough, but we've got no choice. It's our own fault we're in this position because we didn't strengthen the position. So it was square pegs and round holes, and just I think Eddie Howe in the second half again panicked with that triple substitution because it was only 1-1. The game, there was nobody dominating the game. I mean, Brighton, like I said, looked better on the ball, but I think he panicked. He panicked. It was only 1-1. I thought a bit early to go, isn't it? 10 minutes in the second half. There was nothing. No team was dominating. I thought it was a scrappy game.
Brighton were poor. Brighton were really poor.
But
it's just one of them things. I mean, Sam, you can tell Chippers has been waiting a while to get all this off his chest. It's pouring out like gravy out of a jug.
I've got rid of me cold now. I'm getting rid of my anger. I'm sick of it. I'm just
that's why we brought the fan forum back. Niall's with us on the audio. Niall, good evening.
Good evening, Paul and Lady Sam. I hope you're all doing well. Good.
No problem.
Not too bad.
We'll come to you in a second, Niall, okay? Tony, what would you like to say about the whole predicament right now?
I think the word chaos sums it up.
Yeah.
It was, to be honest, it was like watching 11 individuals running around the pitch instead of watching a team. Nobody seemed to know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Okay, I do understand that certain players were playing out of position, but I mean, we should have beaten that Brighton side, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
On paper, I was really pleased to see Joe Linton back, but he was, to be honest, for me, was one of the worst. He was just running around, and that ball out to Anthony Gordon that went about 18 feet over his head. was so unlike him, because normally his tackling and passing is spot on. I mean, I understand he's been injured and that, but if he's not fit, don't play him.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Tony, do us a favour, turn your telly down in the background because it's giving us a bit of feedback through the headphones, mate. Niall, things aren't going great at the minute. Where do you stand? I mean, saying things aren't great, we're doing all right in the Premier League. We're in a cup final, but there's just a bit of a I don't know, a kind of dark cloud above the club at the minute. Just for something's not quite right, is it?
I don't think it's been right since the start of the season, really. I don't. Yeah. I think inconsistency is actually our identity at the moment altogether. Even, I think a lot of it seems to be down to instructions. I think both centre-backs are being told to follow their striker out, and it's leaving us wide open. It's been obvious in the Brentford game way back, and it's consistently been a thing. Like Dan Burn gets dragged out to the sideline to follow a striker where he can't score from there. That leaves us open. I know Gordon's at fault for not tracking Minte, but if Byrne is in his position, that goal never happens.
Sam, I haven't heard from you since the game. I mean, it was just typical of the way the last few weeks have gone, isn't it? I mean, both teams didn't play well, but I don't know, Brighton just seemed to want it more than us. I don't know where the fight is at the moment in this team, Sam.
Do you know what? Everybody's made great points. Inconsistency is our identity. That was from Niall. We've talked about how we're not playing as a cohesive team. We've been saying that for a couple of weeks, which is what Tony's just mentioned as well. And Paston's looser than Granny's bloomin' knickers. Like we're just not. We're just having a shocking time of it, and I don't understand it. I really don't understand why we desperately wanted this. This was arguably our easier path to silverware, and I don't think we showed up. We certainly didn't play as a cohesive team.
I just think we're putting all our eggs in one basket again, and that can be a major problem because I said on the video earlier today, and by the way, I don't want this to happen, of course, but I'm saying if we lost to West Ham, who were really having a stinking season, to be fair, and then what kind of mood does that put us in going into the cup final? And God forbid we lose the cup final. Where's the mentality then for the rest of the season? Because we've only got the league left, and the league form has been dire for quite some time now. Joel says there, even during the 9-game winning run, we weren't great. There was a couple of games we played great football, but I guess we were against teams that weren't quite up to what we sort of became for that 9 games. But since it's all spiraled since the Wolves home game, and I can't put my finger on why. I think it could be down to manager decisions, playing players who are out of form, or there's something going on that's just not quite right in that dressing room where the players aren't pulling together for each other at the minute. And that's really strange because that's something that Eddie Howe was really proud of, is the cohesion in the dressing room. And I'm not saying that the whole team has fallen out with each other. I just think that when you look at them playing on the pitch at the minute, the fight is not there. Nobody can tell me that team is fighting for each other right now. Spike Milligan with a super chat. Howe needs to stop playing manager and start being a manager. Ooh, ouch. I mean, Chippers, where do you stand on Eddie Howe? I mean, I don't think I'm certainly not going down the route of he needs replacing or any of this kind of crap. What I'm saying is, we keep saying that he needs to learn from certain mistakes, but it doesn't seem like he is, does it? He's going with Fabian Schär consistently, and I can't see what he's seeing differently on the pitch to what we're seeing when we watch the games.
Always going on the fence with Eddie Howe for some reason, because these other nagging doubts I've got is that he's got I know the players aren't great to replace him, but he's got options to play in that position. And he keeps saying he plays players on current form that are playing well and they're not playing well, so it makes no sense to me. I'm quite worried about the fixtures that we've got left, because if you look, we've still got to play like Villa away, Man U at home, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Brighton away. So that's 5 of our last 10 games there. Are we going to pick many points up in them games? As you said, I think everyone's putting all their eggs into winning that League Cup, and it's a very dangerous game to play. What Bruno said as well, i.e., we've got one of the biggest games coming up in a fortnight's time. Well, we have, but we've also got West Ham next Monday. Is that not a big game as well? Was last Sunday not a big game? Was Liverpool not a big game? And again, it's the mentality shot to bits, and it's shit. They're all thinking about the cup final, and Eddie Howe's, this is where, again, come back to Eddie Howe, this is where he needs to say to them, no, stuff your cup final. West Ham's the next game. It's a game at a time in the cup final.
Well, he keeps saying that, Chippers. To be fair, he keeps saying in the press conferences, it's one game at a time, and that's what we're focused on. But it's clearly not, Sam.
Yeah.
You can see,
they're not showing it.
Yeah, you can see that. I mean, Eddie Howe, Sam, I mean, you were quite fed up. It was quite honest a while ago.
The fence had blown over. I was well on the other side of the fence. And do you know what I thought? The reason I sort of thought, no, do you know what? I need to give him more of a chance here is because he hasn't been backed across 3 windows. So I need to take that into consideration and not be my typical reactional self on it. But actually, we're not seeing those improvements. We've talked about Eddie Howe, lessons learned, the team selection, in-game management, but now we seem to be losing the dressing room because either they're not following your instructions because people aren't believing you anymore, or attitude is wrong, or the training is wrong. What are the drills that are being run? Because some of the time they're not even holding formation. I don't know what the formations turn into. It just turns to sludge and everybody's just allowed free movement. And where I respect that with some of our quality players who are able to have pace and track back, not all of them can. So you can't have that type of freedom with the type of team that we've got. But for me, this performance, this run of games that we've been on where we can't just focus on delivering our best standards for each and every single match shows me that we are not an elite club mindset currently, because we're literally focusing on the final. It seems like we are putting our eggs in that basket. And what if we lose? What are we going to do then? We'll have no European football. That means all your top players are going to go. It's going to be harder to attract new players coming in. Again, we've missed out on one trophy already, opportunity. So where does that leave you?
Interesting that some Steve says here the fans aren't looking at the next game. All the talk is Wembley. Yeah, some of the fans are guilty of that as well. I mean, everything's turning to Wembley when at the same time we need to be careful. We need to be very careful because 2 weeks' time, the final's over with. We could be looking at a very, very difficult finish to the season. April is stacked with games, and if we don't get our head out our asses, then we're in trouble. Jobatoni says, I don't see any evidence of a loss of the dressing room. We're not saying that. Not at all. And I don't think he's lost the dressing room at all. All I'm saying is the fight that we're used to seeing, the press, the fight to get in, to win the ball back, etc. It's not there at the minute. Mark joins us as well. Guys, there's still plenty space to come on. Hit that link and get yourselves on. Mark, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
We're all right. What would you like to say? Where do you stand on everything at the minute?
It's just a quickie, really, that I wanted to raise. I wanted to ask what you thought about the academy in point of fact, because if we go back in the day when I think it was Alan Hansen said about Alex Ferguson's lot, you can never win a league with kids. Yeah. And yet he went and did, because they'd invested and put the money in the academy. Now, I've not been watching our academy, but when you look at the spaces that we clearly have and need in our, shall we say, supporting roles in the team, then what's wrong with our academy? Why is it not? Why are we incapable of bringing players through? That's my question.
Well, I think there's been a problem with the academy for years now, if I'm really honest. I don't think this is a new thing with the academy. I think we've had a problem with the academy for quite some time now, where things just haven't clicked for whatever reason. We've tried, we've brought in younger players, but suddenly some of those younger players are now out on loan. And you kind of think, well, does that not affect the academy in a way? Some of the players in the academy simply haven't been good enough over the last few years. There is some players starting to play a little bit better now, you know, with the under-23s, the under-18s. They're starting to perform. You know, I know Alfie Harrison, for one, he came with a big potential, kind of fell off the map. He started to perform well in the last 2 or 3 games.
Why? Because he
don't know.
Why? And he was under, you know, Man City and everything. Why has he come to us? In fact, what's going wrong?
Well, you have to look at the
I'll probably interject here. Yeah, I mean, for me, we've not only had an influx of players within every age category, and there have been working at bringing in new talent. We've also brought in new head coaches because other ones have left to go on to better opportunities with first teams in lower leagues, and that's absolutely fine. The Alfie Harrison thing is a bit of a head scratcher for me because he was highly recommended, quite a bit of hype around the lad as well. But was that just shop window stuff that we saw when he was training with Man City, so we would get him to sign? We just don't know. It's great that he's starting to hit a run of form at the moment, but I tell you what, why you haven't heard too much about the academy is because they don't play particularly well. They're not a feeder source for our first team squad anymore. And given, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't believe PSR actually impacts the women's team. It certainly doesn't, but I don't think it impacts our academy either. And we are still not getting it right. So again, is this just because Paul Mitchell hasn't fully got his feet under the table yet to impact the academy and the focus has been on the lasses in the first team? I'd like to think so.
I've got to go actually, guys, because I'm needed somewhere else in a minute. I just wanted to drop in and say that, and all the best to you all, okay?
All right, thanks for joining us, Mark. Thank you. So that was Mark. We've got Johnny with us as well. Johnny, good evening.
Evening, Paul. Evening, Sam. How are you doing? You all right?
Not too bad. Where do you
stand? You're an Isaac fan, mate.
Yeah, as a Swedish.
You're an Isaac fan.
Oh, nah. Well, I've got me Newcastle. Yeah, I've got me Toon top underneath. So a bit of the both.
Well, by the way, there has been a certain reports going around today that Hall and Isak may miss the final. But I'm not. I wouldn't say Isak. I think Isak will play in the final. But Lewis Hall, obviously having to see a specialist, that's a different kettle of fish when you got to see a specialist. What would you like to say, Johnny?
I think, excuse me, I think it's just on the back of everything that's been going off recently. I mean, on Sunday when we lost the game, I was furious. I think a lot of the problems that we've got are down to recruitment. I think in the summer, the likes of Pope, probably Target, Longstaff, Wilson, the Deadwood as we call it. We need a clear out, and we don't have to go and spend 70, 80 million quid on players. There's players in Europe that we could get that I'm sure, like you say, they're scouting at the minute. So I'm confident that we can get the players in. But I think Eddie Howe personally is taking this club as far as he can. And I think maybe in the summer there might be a new manager. However, if he can win us something, but I cannot see us winning the Carabao Cup, we're going to get battered. We've got the structure of a good side, but the players need to get their heads down. And I think Champions League is beyond us. I don't think we're ready for that. If we qualify for one of the Conference League or the Europa League is something, but we ain't ready for the Champions League yet. Not with the squad that we've got. I mean, I'm heavily. I've got family and friends over in Sweden, and I've seen interviews with Isak on Aftonbladet, and whatever's going on with the reports to Sky Sports, Isak's come out and said on Aftonbladet he's a Newcastle player. He wants to stay in Newcastle. His family, his younger brother has even come out and said, Alex is happy there. So I'm confident he's going to be there for a while. But
I saw a report yesterday, this is how crazy it is. I was reading a report and Isak's apparently told Newcastle United where he wants to move to at the end of the season.
Oh my God.
It's just a pile of absolute garbage. Agreed. Emma, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing? Chippers, if you don't turn off your notifications, I will personally visit you and remove your face.
2 seconds.
It's his own. Oh, it's his OnlyFans subscriptions.
Well,
man.
of course it is. Absolutely.
Emma,
where do you stand on all of this? Because it's we're trying to work out what on earth is going on at the minute for these iffy performances of late.
To be honest, I didn't think we didn't have a bad performance on Sunday. I just think that they still got the head for the Carabao Cup, and this is why the performance isn't doing us any good.
Have we not learned something from 2 years ago? Surely, I mean, a lot of the players are still there. Have they not learned that taking your eye off the league and concentrating on a cup final, can be a detriment to us at times?
Yeah, I think it can, but for me, still, it's the likes of Sher that's kind of keeping us back, because he's just not performing the way he used to.
I've got to say, Emma, it's definitely more than Fabs. I think there's so many of them. And I just don't understand it. And I keep putting faith in Eddie, because, as I said, I think it must be difficult for any manager not to have any backing across 3 windows. This has got to be said. So, but I just don't understand why we're playing like we don't have the elite quality that we do. This is what I don't get, and which is why I'm thinking, is there just some type of unsettlement in the dressing room? Like, what is going on? Because surely they understand the implications of not staying up and fighting for that European place in the league.
Niall, what do you think? I mean, Bruno, he hasn't been at it. I watched Brian the True Geordie today talking about the defeat, and he's not happy with Anthony Gordon for most of the season. I've heard a lot of fans say that. A lot of fans disagree. Obviously, they can do. But where do you? I mean, Bruno, Niall, just looks like he's running in treacle.
I don't know what the game plan seems to be every week, because it keeps changing. There's no. Once we went away from the press and all, the team is totally. They've no idea what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
As for Bruno's been off for a good while. I hate to say it, he's probably one of my favourite players, along with Gordon.
Yeah, he's a big fan favourite, yeah.
Gordon, I think, is very high to reach the heights that he did last season. And he's been played right wing, through the middle, and on the left. He's kept getting moved. Once he was on the left, up until his sending off the other game, he was, for me, a 6 or a 7 in that game. Because he was pressing, he was getting back, he was making runs. He was doing a lot more than, say, Harvey Barnes or Miley. I felt so sorry for the lad. He was totally off as well.
Yeah.
And as for Cher, I don't know. The only way he's getting dropped is if he gets a red card. That's the only way I can see it.
Well, I think his legs. I personally think his legs have gone. Tony, where do you stand on Bruno and the drop off for him? And do you agree or disagree that Gordon's been poor most of the season?
Most definitely, yes. I think that he's proud, still proud as ever to wear the shirt, but I think the responsibility of being captain, on top of trying to run the midfield, is getting to him. Being a leader in the dressing room is one thing, but then having to do it on the pitch in front of 52,000 screaming Geordies it's not easy.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not. I mean, it's not. But I mean, this is what the professional footballers for, aren't they? To play on the big occasions. Michael McIntyre, thank you for your super sticker. Warren's been with us for 14 months as a member. Thank you, buddy. I think it's simple. The squad is stale because of a lack of new faces over the last 3 transfers. Johnny, do you think they've gone complacent? That some of these players just know that there's nobody to replace them, therefore the pressure's off them in a way. And the likes of Fabian Schär just cruising through each game like he does, thinking, well, he's obviously not going to put Emil Krafton in front of me. So, the pressure's off and there's nobody forcing these players to perform.
I think a lot of it's down to the management of the players as well, the attitude, the heads on up. Fabs is getting a cracking wage, excuse me, and so a lot of the other guys, and I think some of them know that their tenure's coming up at the end of the season and they're going to get replaced. So, there just seems to be a lack of trying, and it's a shame because they're capable of better.
Yeah.
But it's not just Fabs, it's a couple of players, but I'm glad we've got Dubravka back because he's absolutely sound. He was brilliant on Sunday. It's a shame because probably a lot of other fans, I think we could have gone further in the FA Cup, but we've got to move forward and think about the game on against West Ham. We've got to start getting results. Some form of European football is an absolute. If we don't get that, and if we don't win the Carabao Cup, excuse me, I think the board are going to run out of patience with Eddie Howe. But again, who's getting to replace him? That's the thing.
Well, that will be certainly a big discussion for if and when it happens. But Sam obviously brought. I'm referring to Lady Sam. I call Chippers, so that they know. But Sam,
he brought. My opinion, like.
That's why I'm saying Sam. I'm asking you.
Oh, me! Oh, hi.
You dizzy bugger. Anyway, he brought Dubravka back. Will he keep him in?
He bloody wants to. I don't want to see Pope back.
Has he just brought him back because it was the FA Cup and he's rotating in the cups? And is he going to play Nick Pope back on the Premier League on Monday?
Pope does not deserve to wear the shirt and be on the pitch. He Agreed. Does not. He's totally off his game. And we spoke about this when Dubs first got benched. What on earth? I just did not get that decision making at all because he's actually saved our score lines more than anything else. And the Man City game, I'm sorry, but a lot of those goals were down to our defensive back line. Absolutely not down to
the whole bloody
Dubs.
Team didn't turn up against Man City. And
absolutely.
To blame, Dubravka proved himself on Sunday. He commanded that box brilliantly. His distribution was excellent. His shot stopping, superb. So I don't subscribe to all this bullshit saying, "Oh, Nick Pope's the better shot stopper," because Dubravka just proved on Sunday how good of a shot stopper he is.
Eddie's like, "Oh well, my goodness, Pope's distribution." Please. Well, don't lie to me like there's a Santa Claus. I can't believe that.
Tony and Niall have had to drop off, guys. Guys, get yourself on. Come on, where is everybody? Let's hear how you're feeling.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I've got Aston Villa on the telly, and we know how they sign players like Asensio and Disasi on loan in January. Could we not have explored that? Would they not have improved our squad?
Listen,
Asensio,
Asensio is one of the players that PSG are apparently offering us as a swap deal once his loan deal ends with Villa. I don't know. I think we should have, but it's gone now. We can't do anything about it. But where do you stand on?
Open.
Damn right. Hey, listen, the summer, we keep getting told the summer is going to be a big summer. Eddie's been given money to spend. That's if Eddie's still in charge, depending on how the rest of the season goes. But Chippers, where do you stand on the goalkeeper? Because, Dubravka was excellent.
Again, Eddie's lied to her by saying he picks players on form because Dubravka's been better than Pope, and he picked Pope over him over the last 3 games, and you just think, you've just screwed with there. I never thought I'd say that after last season when Dubravka was looking absolutely shocking and he looked like an old man in nets, and I just thought, he's done. But I don't know. He seems to have had a bit of a resurgence, or whether that's down just to Pope regressing massively. And I was against giving him a new contract, I must admit, but that seems to me that he's going to possibly keep Dubravka next season and sell Pope in the summer with a bit more of a sell-on value, possibly. But yeah, Dubravka's been the better keeper, and I just didn't get why he needed to rotate them. It's just it upset the apple cart really, and you've got to play your best informed players and your best players available, and he wasn't doing that.
Yeah, the problem with Nick Pope, I think, and the same for Joe Willock, I don't think they're the same players since their injuries. And I think Nick Pope, whenever Nick Pope dives, especially obviously to his left, I think the psychology of Nick Pope is he doesn't want to,
hesitation.
It is. It's hesitation, and it's costing him. The same with Joe Willock. I think Joe Willock, you know how we see when he's in real form, he bursts forward, he takes players on. We don't see that enough from Joe Willock. We see it once or twice, and then he goes missing. And I just think maybe the injuries have affected their games. Paul Taylor joins us, although he was there. There he is. We're good. We've also got the naked noise boy.
Yay!
At least he's not naked.
I'm not going to call you naked. So what is your name?
Tony.
There you go. Right. Fantastic. I don't want to call you naked. I'll be a bit worried about doing things like that. Emma, Nick Pope, is he going to come back in on Monday?
I need to use that.
I know it's before 9 o'clock, but I fucking hope not.
Hope not.
No, I don't want him. I don't want him in.
Emma never says how she feels, by the way. She's very shy. I mean, I agree. He will want shooting with the stinkiest, dirtiest piece of crap going around.
If anyhow what puts Pope in on Monday night, he wants to pack his bags and go to fucking Sunderland.
Oh. Jerry.
He's that bad. I don't think the Mackhams would have him, man.
Well, Emma, I think you and your husband need to get off the fence. Dear me. Anyway, Paul, how are you feeling about everything at the minute? Are you confident going into the next two games?
No, definitely not, Paul. No. Bruno just hasn't been on it, has he? And then Gordy did that the other day. I'm like, Gordy, what the fucking have you done that for? Yeah, but I'm not confident about the final. No, definitely not.
Tony Gordon was a silly boy, and I think it sort of heated the moment stuff, wasn't it? But then all of a sudden, he'll have come off that pitch and realised that what's happened. I don't think Newcastle are going to appeal. I'll find it astounding if they do, because that is never getting overturned in a million years, Tony.
No, I saw it afterwards. I've been like the last 2 weeks. I missed the last two games because I was driving, because I was looking after my father, and I messaged you, Paul, about that. And it was just like, what the game before. I'm trying to think what it was. I have no short-term memory. I'd driven out of Matlock, and it was like, oh, we're losing 1-0. And then we're like, yeah. Oh, I'll get home to see the second half. And I got home about 20 minutes into the second half at the end, and it was another shit show.
Well, I mean, the problem, Sam, why are we so... I mean, look, many people have said it's like last of the summer wine, our defence. You know, we've got so many... You know, it's an aging back line. But, you know, you look at the pace of Liverpool and even West Ham. West Ham have some very, very good players, despite the fact that they haven't had a great season. But then again, Sam, all the teams that play against Newcastle have not had a good season. We all know what happens when Newcastle come to town.
Which Sam?
Now, Sam, you clearly weren't listening to me before, were you? Because I said I'm going to...
Lady Sam.
I am going to call. I am going to call.
Lady Sam.
I'm not. I said I was going to call Chippers, and you, Sam, or Lady Sam. I'm just not calling you Lady all night.
Lady Sam, you came up with it. Anyway.
I didn't. You did. But never mind. Let's move on. Go on. Answer the question.
What was it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Toon Review,
Why
ladies
are we
and gentlemen,
stinking?
as professional as normal. Honestly, where do I get my co-host from? Sit the bed,
You
man.
love it, Paul. You love it,
Ah,
Sorry,
honestly.
we should have got Billy on, man. Where is he?
Well, Billy's up and down to pee every 10 minutes, so he can't get on the show. The tablets are going through him like the steamroller.
Bless
Poor
him.
bloke. No, Sam, what I was saying was, the age in defence, the pace of Liverpool and West Ham, because they have pacey players, and every time a team isn't playing very well, they kind of look forward to Newcastle turning up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think their attack is going to go through our defence quicker than Billy's water tablets, quite frankly. It's going to be absolutely, it's going to be shocking.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There was a comment earlier, and forgive us, I can't remember who actually said it, but we were talking about we don't seem to know each other's playing styles anymore. We can't anticipate one another's play. At Liverpool, that do that so well, and that's going to really harm us. I mean, we've done great to get into two cup runs. We're trying to go on for fifth place to get European football. So for credit where it's due for Eddie to do that with no players and no rotation as well. By the way, so little options in that regard. It's going to be very tough for us. And we perform on a big occasion on a huge stage like that. I absolutely think that we can. But again, we see the body language. You can see it when heads actually dropped. And Gordon at the weekend, that's a showcase of someone losing composure, not having his temperament. And for somebody who apparently practices all this mindfulness, I'm not exactly seeing it in your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon says, what's with all the negative from people on the manager? Get rid, the players get rid. We are Newcastle United, man. The Toon forever, black and white. Yeah, Simon, you're missing the point.
Yes.
It's just a fan conversation about our recent dip in form. I certainly haven't sat here and said Eddie out. I want Eddie to win the cup. I want Eddie to become a legend. I have stood on that plateau since the start of the season, even when it got rough for Eddie. I've always believed, and I still do. And, Kevin Keegan, was up for a charity event last week. He has stated that we need to back Eddie Howe. We need to stay behind him. But the problem is sometimes, Chippers, Eddie Howe makes mistakes. And, as fans, he is in the firing line just as much as the players are.
And the thing is, he's making the same mistakes all the time, and ultimately, it's not down to us who what happened. It's PIF at the end of the day. If they think their investment's going backwards, then they're not going to keep him here. Unfortunately, it's part and parcel of being a business. You've got to move forwards, but
that would be for anybody, Chippers, wouldn't it? It doesn't matter who'd be manager. That's just the case. Sam, you've got to go and prepare for the last show. So, guys, you'll see Sam again at 8 o'clock with Aaron. So we'll see you soon, Sam.
See you later. Thanks for coming on all. Bye.
Goodbye, Lady Sam.
Bye, Sam. You got it right. Well done.
Yeah, get lost. Anyway, she will kill me for that. She will. TDR Friday, she will hammer me. She loves doing that on a Friday. So there you go.
I've got. Oh God.
Go on.
Right, I've got. I've made a bit of a balls up, but it's and I shouldn't really put it on the tube on the review, but I thought it was a good idea to book a hotel room in Newcastle because I live in Yorkshire.
Yep. You can't tell. You can't tell.
What do you mean you can't tell? I've got me. Hang on.
I was expecting Betty to walk in with a hot pot.
Right.
There you go.
Is that a real bird?
By the way, Tony, we've got your brother coming on. Here he is. The man of...
Oh, here he is. Oh, bloody hell. Don't talk to me about it. We don't talk anymore. Cut my fingers off. Oh, no, different film. Irish.
Oh, Johnny.
How are you doing? So I've ended up...
Shut up a minute. You get your piece in a minute. Go on, Tony.
I've got an hotel room that's non-transferable.
Yeah.
and my darling wife also booked another hotel room to surprise me to go to Newcastle for the weekend because we're not going to that London place. No. So I've ended up with an hotel room in London.
No.
So if Sam or yourself wants to have that,
well, I'm not allowed to travel obviously because of my recent mini stroke, but I'll be commentating on the game. I think Alex is coming up to Newcastle.
If Alex wants it, he can have it. He'll have to pretend to be my girlfriend or my husband, and I'll take him in and check him in.
I'm not sure how certain I would be of Alex doing that.
Place, that's fine.
Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. He has a couple of pints and he wrecks hotel rooms. You didn't want that out, and then your credit card will go to hell. Stoic Protector with a super chat saying, am I one with the opinion that we are slowly returning to form? We have seen a half where the lads were great, plus a couple of games now where we have said in commentary the lads are fighting. No, not for me. I think fight is a big problem. Bald, we can hear you loud and clearly, mate. You didn't have to disappear.
Oh, he's back.
No, he's not. He can't hear us. He's in a dungeon somewhere by the looks of things. He's not in his Norman transfer office, is he? I mean, Emma, are you actually? The game on Monday comes around first of all. We'll have another fan forum in next week. Obviously, I think it'll be Wednesday night next week because we'll be doing the review of the West Ham game on Tuesday. But West Ham, very iffy game, but it looks like we're going to go into that probably without Isak, without Lewis Hall. So again, we're sort of short-staffed, but does he bring new players in is a question. Has he got the balls to do it?
Probably not, but I would love to see new players come in. The likes of Dooley, because he can run the pitch. He's got the pace. We all know he's got the pace. Eddie's just not taking the chance with him. Mm-hmm. I don't know why he's keeping him benched.
Yeah.
And I also want to see Crafting in place of Shah, because at the minute there's something going on with him. Just like last year when Kieran Trippier was going through all that trouble. Yeah. There's something going on with Shah and no one can put the finger on it. And I want Dubs in because Pope is absolutely shit.
I mean, if he puts Nick Pope back in, I'm going to be annoyed. I will be annoyed because I think it'd be so unfair on Dubravka and the cup final. Dubravka is one of the main reasons we've got to this cup final, and I'll find it astounding and so disrespectful if he plays Nick Pope, because Nick Pope's not in form. Dubravka is. When anybody says you play who's in form, and that is Martin Dubravka, Eddie sits there in his press conferences and goes, I'm going to play players that are in form and deserve to stay in the team. Well, Dubravka needs to stay in the team, stop being hypocritical, and do what you say you're going to do in press conferences by playing the players who are in form and dropping the bellends who couldn't give a shit like Fabian Schär. Bald, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Good. Oh, that was a struggle.
Yeah, what would you like to say tonight, matey?
Well, first and foremost, that first half the other day was the weirdest first half I think I've ever seen for Newcastle. It was, I can't even describe it. Weird, and I don't even know how to describe how weird. Whatever happened. But no, it was a shocking display. And the fact that we're not getting told stuff. I mean, Hall's out injured. I mean, there's this thing with Isak now. You said that. I mean,
yeah.
We're just not being told anything. And I just want to touch on a point that, about what's going on behind closed doors at the club. What is Paul Mitchell doing? As in...
Nothing.
Well, he doesn't come out and tell us a thing. He doesn't, he doesn't represent the club forward-facing.
I mean, I will play devil's advocate here, mate. I will play devil's advocate as if if Alex was sitting here, he would turn around and say he doesn't have to.
No, I totally agree. But there's certain times someone's got to come out and say why we haven't picked up any players in transfer windows. I know, obviously, there's all this thing about financial fair play and all that, but there's still something not right. You know, we've lost more than we've gained. We look at the dishevelled club. We don't look anything like we did last season, or well, even the end of the season before. We look nothing like it. We're a shadow of, well, at the minute, we're not doing much better than what Steve Bruce would have done. And I don't think PIF are going to give Eddie Howe much more leeway.
No.
Well, I mean, there's the argument, isn't it? I mean, they haven't been able to back him for 3 transfer windows now. And there is the the flip side of the coin, if you like. You know, Eddie can turn around and say, well, you know what, we don't have the squad. I don't have the quality of players to replace the players that are already in the starting 11. A lot of us would disagree with that, because obviously we would think and look at the likes of Emil Kraft coming in for Fabian Schär. Is Emil Kraft as good with the ball as Fabian can be? No, he's not. But what you get out of him is just a steady performance every time he's in the team. He's never let us down. And he is one of the players that has dramatically improved under Eddie Howe. But Eddie Howe seems now not to trust him, because if he trusted him, you've got to think that Eddie would have put him in and dropped Fabian Schär. But I don't get why, you know, he's not doing that. I mean, Chip, is it a certain trust that he doesn't have in certain players?
Well, I find it baffling considering he's given him a new contract.
Exactly.
I would love to know, the press should be asking him this on Friday morning. This is why you should be pressing him for, saying you've given Emil Kraft a new contract and your defence is conceding goals. So do you not think maybe you could, have you thought about changing it or anything like that? But of course, they'll ask him if he's had crumpets for breakfast instead, rather than asking him the serious questions, which it doesn't help us at all as fans, because we want to know certain things. We want to know the seriousness of certain injuries to certain players and things like that. And I know Eddie's good at batting that off like a cricketer, but I mean, they've got to at least ask them to show that they're shown to be seen asking these questions, as opposed to, oh, did you buy Take That tickets, or did you buy tickets for Oasis or whatever? And there's things like that which are pointless questions, but we'll never know.
Drones.
Yeah, drones. Yeah.
Well, I'll ask you, Jay. Emma, starting with you. What is the one question, if you were sitting in front of Eddie Howe, would you ask him?
To be honest, it's why did he make Bruno captain? Because before Bruno became captain, he was winning for the tackles. He was playing better. Since he's become captain, he's slacking. It's like he doesn't want to go in for tackles. And that's what's annoying me most about Bruno, because we know the quality that he's got, but because he's got that armband on his shoulder, he's just not performing right.
Yeah. Paul, what would you ask him?
What would I ask him? Like what you doing by paying Pope, and then and then don't play bloody Baraka? Like, we are after another goalkeeper, aren't we?
Apparently so. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see when summer comes around. Tony, what would you ask him?
We've got so many players, I think, that are on bits and bats, and why are we having 9 goalies in a game when we probably get away with 2 or 3?
Yeah. Bald, what would you ask him?
What's your favourite colour?
How did you know that was good? What, do you like pineapple on pizzas?
I do.
Hey, not wrong with a good Hawaiian pizza. Put it
I'll
that
just
way.
see it on the back of that. Tuna, pineapple, mixed peppers, and jalapenos. Perfect pizza.
Hot fish, hot tuna. You're a dirty man. I'm sorry. Can't be accepted.
Says the man with a pigeon on his cap.
Says the man with some sort of creature in his hand.
Great. And no, it's just a bit.
What the hell is that?
Cockroach, probably.
You.
Now, you've met her before. One of me stick insects.
Oh, the stick insect way.
No, genuinely. Back to a genuine question. I'd be saying, right. My question in my head didn't sound right when I was about to say that there.
Well, it can't be any worse than what the journalists are asking at the minute.
Well, true. What do you think the owners would say about our recent performances? I mean, obviously, he must know the answer anyway, because it must be being fed down to him by someone.
Well, you would think that's. I mean, he said when he had various chats with the chairman the other day that they were positive.
Well, you say that that guy sat and watched the bloody game the other day.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have took any positives from it.
Well, there wasn't any, to be honest. We got knocked out the cup. We Brighton didn't play well, but beat us. Was it not was it Forest game that he was there? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But even then, we won, but we looked like a shower of shit.
Well, second half we were terrible.
But,
apart from 11 minutes, 11 minutes in the last 6 Premier League games, maybe we've looked decent, but. Anyway, we're going to push for time because obviously I need to get myself off because that didn't sound right at all. I need to end the show because Lady Sam and Aaron will be waiting in the wings.
Appointment with a lady on a YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, when
it's not. You just think, oh, shit. It's the proper naked part of Babe Station starts shortly.
I don't know.
Yeah, I trust you to know that. Right, let's get your predictions
on OnlyFans.
Yeah, shut up. Anyway, let's get your predictions for the West Ham game, Chippers.
I think we'll get beat 2-0. I've got no positive at the minute. The way we're playing, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what team line we're going to play. I don't know how we're going to play. I don't know what the crack is. So I can't be positive and say, we're going to whip them or we're going to beat them. I think the way things are, you can't be positive.
Well, I hope you're wrong, but I understand where you come from. Yeah. Right, thanks for coming on, Chippers.
See you later. Good night, all.
Take care, matey. Paul.
2-0 Newcastle.
Oh, that's better. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, Julie did. Guys, I don't want your predictions yet in the chat, by the way, because obviously we're doing the preview. The previews, it will be Sunday night. The preview for the game, because obviously it's not on Monday, so it's pointless doing it on Thursday when we normally do it. Let's wait till Sunday. We can obviously Eddie Howell have spoken by then. We'll know the injury situation, so that's when we'll do that. Paul, thanks for coming on, mate.
Okay, see you later.
Take care. By the way, you guys are welcome back on the fan forums. You are literally the newbies on the fan forum, so we want regular fan forum members as well. So everybody that's been on and is still on, get yourselves on. It'll be Wednesday night next week. Tony,
I'm going 2-1 to Newcastle because strange things happen.
Well, I mean, yeah, they do, and it is Newcastle United, of course. So you never know.
And I think there's a lot of that going on, and yeah, we'll get there back in the end.
We'll see. Thanks for coming on, Tony.
Bless you guys.
Good night, Emma.
Me and my husband's going 2-1
to Newcastle.
Yes.
Good.
Obviously, Paul.
Well, I wasn't expecting it, given the hurls of negativity from your household earlier on.
No, that's all towards Nick Pop when he's in goal.
It is, of course, it is. I know that. Well, I hope.
Probably fire with dead wood.
Yeah,
like your old squad, you've got to have fresh wood.
Yeah, of course.
He's got too much dead wood.
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1 Newcastle.
We've had dead wood for a while. Ooh.
Yeah, and we're going to win the cup.
Well, get yourself back on next week, and we'll build up to the cup final. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night. And finally, Bald, what is your prediction?
I ain't got a clue. I don't know what injuries we've got. I ain't got a damn clue about anything. I'm just going to stick out there. I'm going to say 3-3 draw.
3-3. Entertaining game. Right. Thanks for coming on, matey. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, Paul. All the best, pal.
Take care, bud. So there you go. That is Fan Forum done and dusted for this evening. Thank you to everybody that joined us. We will do Fan Forum every week now until the end of the season at least. So please do get yourselves on next. It'll be next Wednesday because obviously we're doing the match review next Tuesday. Thank you for your super chats and your memberships. Mods, thank you very much. But thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. It's been a great show, great chat about the team, and hopefully a bit more positive next week on the Fan Forum in the build-up to the Cup final after we dispatch of West Ham. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Mamaroo Records for sponsoring the channel, of course, based in Whitley Bay, for all your needs for music, your vinyl, CDs, merchandise, to do sport merch, gift cards. I've got it all. If you can't get into Whitley Bay Town Centre, check them out online. That is pinned at the top of the description. Please stay with us as Sam and Aaron will be coming on very shortly with the War Lasses show. Please give them your support. They do a fantastic job on that show. So if you're interested in learning more about the Lasses team, then tune into that. But in the meantime, I will bid you adieu and have a fantastic rest of your evening. I will see you soon. Good night.
Come back and check out some green.